Now I'm just going to make sure that it's recording the right spot. Looks like it is. Okay, cool. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to session 70 of Materia, where we play 5th edition's Dungeons and Dragons. That is modified to our liking. Uh, in the previous few episodes or sessions, our adventurers, the Crass Menagerie, have spent their time in Greenhill, a city town uh, of fishermen and traders, and well, that's mostly what you'll run into. There are apothecaries and other individuals that utilize the river and the many hills nearby that help generate the windmills that are used to process and grind all manner of supplies, either be it for internal use or for, well, export and trade. Well, Greenhill has fallen under siege by ogres and giantkin that had always been to the east, but for some reasons had become more organized and managed to break through the layers of defensive um, towers and armaments and structure that had been created over decades and decades in Greenhill. The menagerie has been in Greenhill trying to find out, well, what is going on? Why are people, trapped here? But how come the followers of the Mother of Bounty seem to be working with and have something in common with the Ogrekin? And in most recent activities, the menagerie had gone back to the Bronze Hook, which is a tavern and lively establishment for food, drink, celebrations. This is where they've gone to down some ogre busters and later some giant slayers as well. Obnoxiously large drinks of alcohol. Um, but they had also learned, or a few of them had learned previously, that this was also a hub for some underground activity here in Greenhill. One such individual that the menagerie had come in contact with was Harley, who was actually Essos, a gold-scaled dragonborn, charading due to illusionary magic as Harley, who is his friend and boss, but Harley had gone missing a month or so back. Menagerie being worked up and eager to find out information, driven mostly by Marb, about the happenings here, managed to get into the Bronze Hook, get to his office, and have a discussion with Harley. Unbeknownst to them, was not Essos, was actually Harley. They harassed him, they yelled at him, they talked about a job that they did for him, basically lying to him, and Harley really was not able to provide any useful information. Picking up on this, a couple of the members decided it was time to go. But then there was some plan of sending the building on fire, which never went through fruition because there were innocent people in there, and magic was used to make it look like a fire was happening to at least try to clear out the building. However, while all this was going on in the back of the Bronze Hook, Harley stepped out, accompanied by 9 or so ogres that he had called to his assistance, as he and his establishment were harassed by some individuals. Combat did ensue. The menagerie did eventually prevail, and keeping Harley alive, they managed to capture him, where, thanks to a silver coin that Marb had given one of the wait staff of the Bronze Hook, luckily enough, it was someone that was loyal to Essos. They summoned Essos, and him and 6 of his companions arrived to assist. avoiding any type of, I guess, harassment and difficult situations, Essos led the menagerie with the, I must add, Harley was in a hamster ball for a while, covered in his own blood. But the bloodied and beaten Harley, they managed to follow Essos through a network down to a natural waterway, and then into a uh, underground uh, thieves' lair, essentially, that was being used as hideout, respite, and hub of operations for Essos and seemingly those that are still more loyal to Essos than Harley at the time. Uh, Discussion of how to get information out of Harley became heated. Individuals wanted to, well, an individual wanted to torture him with a hammer and other means. However, Essos pleaded, as Harley was still his friend, and eventually they managed to get some matter of information from Jones. Stop breaking the door. I'll get the door for you in a second. Some information from Harley, uh, but perhaps in not a way that anyone from the menagerie is aware of, short of one. So we will be picking up this session with Marb, Davis, Dregnar coming back into the chamber where Al, Rock, Essos, and Sej had been interrogating Harley. Harley is, well, freaking out after what one of the members had done to him, but unable to explain what happened, and in such a panic, in such a broken state, he has now passed out cold in his chair. Let me get the door for the cats, and then we'll start the session. Alright, I'm back. So, if anyone has any questions on the recap or wants anything cleared up real quick, let's do that, and then we'll get started.
I think I'm good. We're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm snacking.
Right. So, on the calendar, you see you are still in this same 30-second day. You've been here for like 3 or 4 sessions. It's just been a long day. Evening, it's getting closer to crossing.
Been a long day.
Yes, it has. So we will. I think you guys were here last. That's right. Okay, I can actually.
To our eventual long rest.
Yes, I can point. That's something I forgot to say. In the recap is Harley is the portly, pudgy Harley. Something that at the end of the interrogation, as he was in the process of passing out, and possibly while he was passed out, I believe it was Al, but someone had instructed, individuals to pull up Harley's sleeves, and they saw that there was like branding-like markings up on his arms, and then later, investigating further on his back and everything, the menagerie, Essos, they saw essentially a reef of round circles akin to eyes branded into the center of his back, loosely interpreted by what you see on the screen. But so you have
I did have one quick question. What time of day was it? Is it after nightfall?
It's definitely getting towards nightfall. Yeah, it actually is. No, it definitely is nightfall because it was nightfall when you guys had already tried to go into the Bronze Hook and question him. So it's the fighting the ogres and everything. There was all the torch lights and everything making it possible to see. So it's solidly night.
So where he's just passed out. We're still in room.
Yeah, you've been kind of like rolling up his sleeves, and then eventually you wanted to check his back, and Davis and Dragnar and Marb had walked in after all the commotion, seeing him kind of like, like in a rage, spitting and yelling towards the direction of Al, passing out. And yeah, y'all basically have had him kind of untied from the chair that he was restrained in, and kind of hunched him over, and then his shirt has been lifted to reveal the brandings on his back, of which are the seven-ish looking symbol, other symbols that you've seen, and then most prominently in the center of his back is essentially like a circular symbol of like a reef of, I guess you would interpret them as eyes, some of which have flower petals on them.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to Isos and just say sorry. We have to do this. I'm not taking anything. I'm not gonna hurt him. We just have to get everything we can. And I'm gonna start searching Harley while he's passed out, and like we'll just take his shirt off, and just a good search. And I want to be able to sketch all the marks on him that I see, and anything that I find, I'm just gonna put off to the side so we can get it after. I'm not gonna pocket anything.
So I literally want to do the exact same thing, Rock. just like loot him, but also, can I ask more about like the marks that they're like burned, like carved? Is it just like tattooed, like drawn, like more specifically how they're put in the body?
Okay.
If I can like investigate that.
Yeah, sure. So it'll be multiple things. So Rock.
With Marb, I'll just let Marb do the stripping and searching, and I'll just sketch what I see.
Okay. So
there you go. We have rock, paper, scissors for it. It's like, okay, I'll take the pockets. You take the markings.
No, okay. It's all yours, Mark. I'll leave it for you, buddy. That's your specialty. You'll find things that I probably won't.
Okay. So
sweet.
As you guys are like Rock, as you're talking to this, and Marb kind of steps up. Isos kind of looks at you and just kind of nods, and he's a bit shaken. I mean, all of you can kind of pick up on that. But he's kind of assisting, and you kind of pull a few of the layers of clothing. Harley had like a little simple shawl on, essentially, that had a hood on it of browns. Take that off, and then you do take off his under. Like it's not a nice shirt by any means. It's just a simple like linen-based long sleeve. Take it off. So for I guess both of you, I guess Rock, if you're just assisting, Marb, you can give me an investigation check at advantage. As Rock and Isos are helping you take, articles of clothing off, and then getting him back prepped up, like kind of propped in the chair, but spun around the other way so his back is visible to you, Rock. And you're able to kind of go through,
14 was the best I could do.
14, okay. So you kind of go through some of his pockets, and there's not too many pockets. Really not too much on him. He's got a little belt on that has like a pouch attached to it. And you're kind of digging through, Marb. You do find it's like a little bell that's kind of akin to like a chime that's maybe 6 inches in length, made of some sort of silver-like metal, gold-like metal. I mean, it depends on how the light catches it. Seems decently made. A little odd to have on his person. You see some coin. Other than that, there's like a loose, what do you call it? Like a hanky, essentially. Like, a cloth for him to wipe his nose. He really isn't carrying much on his person.
What was the kind of odd thing he was carrying? An ad plate, I'm sorry.
It's like a chime, like a little 6-inch or so in length, like hand bell. It's got a little bell on it with a little handle.
Okay, gotcha.
But everything else just either seems to be odd bits of coin, a handkerchief, I guess, a dagger or two that he had concealed. But really nothing is standing out.
So I wanna like, I guess very obviously like kind of like strip him down, like take off like his cloak and then fold it neatly, like
Yeah.
inspect it and fold it until he's like
Mhm.
completely naked so we can see like all the markings. But once that's done, I'll grab the pile of stuff and I'll like ask Isos like, hey, this is all we found. Like, do you recognize any of it significantly important to Harley or anything strange that maybe you've
Okay.
never seen Harley with, like this belt, for example, or like here's like this weird daggers that's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Everyone has their favorite dagger, and then you carry like 3 extra ones that are like for the ugly stabbings. But when you want the good stabbing, you use your special dagger. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you recognize here of the pile?
So, uh, Isos will kind of, as you're doing this and kind of help, because he's helping you more with Harley and, making sure that he doesn't also fall out of the chair because he's kind of passed out and they got him kind of propped, kind of like where his chest is leaning on the back of the chair and his back is exposed. So, Rock, now you have fairly good visibility of the brandings uh, on him. Uh, they are uh, akin to what you imagine. They don't seem like they were heat induced, or like they just look like they're deep lacerations in the skin that have healed over and left scars. I say deep, but lacerations in the skin. You are recognizing, again, a lot of the symbols have that similar flair that you'd seen in the Hag's journals and on the stones, the boulders that you found in Green Hill. The two most prominent things that stand out to you is the reef of eyes in the center of his back and the number of the 7 hooks, as y'all have come to call those symbols. In Rock, easy enough. You have good enough memory, and you just have time, and you're just scrawling down in one of your extra pieces of parchment with some of your simple inks. I guess as you're writing it, Rock, go ahead and give me an Arcana check, just to see if anything stands out. As you're doing that, Davis and Dragnar are both just kind of looking at, like, Marb, you kind of notice that Davis and Dragnar are just kind of keeping an eye on you, maybe a little bit more than they have in the past. However, as you're kind of interacting with Essos, folding and going through his clothes, Essos will just say, I mean, these are just coins. They don't seem to have any markings. He's kind of taking the dagger and kind of looking at it, putting it up to whatever light is in here. This is an underground place, so it's illuminated by torches and braziers and stuff. He's kind of looking. And Marb, you kind of see that he's rotating the dagger, trying to catch the light to see if there is some sort of, intentional etching on it or some sort of mark. He's checking the hilt to see. And you get it that he's just looking for any indication that these are meant to be more than what they are, if they are a message, but they just seem like your standard stabbing daggers, defensive daggers. Then he moves on. His belt, he checks that just to see if there's like a little hidden slit or anything in there. Doesn't find anything. He takes that one pouch that's on the belt, opens it up, and again, there's nothing. You see, then he does say that, I mean, I've never seen that chime before. Let me actually really quickly see if I can find a good example of it, because I can actually maybe Google it. What is it called? Not what it is, but there might be, yeah. So it looks more akin, something like, here you go. Something like this. Not exactly, but you know, it's like a little handbell. Dring, 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 dring. So, it's kind of something what it looks like. And hopefully that showed up. And he's just like, this is the only thing that's out of place. Well, that, and he looks over at his friend's back as Rock is kind of sketching what he can on his back of his head. And he's never had all those markings. And I've known him for more than half a decade. Rock, with that Arcana check. Very much tied to all the activities that you've seen recently. The reef seems to be like the focal point of what's on his back. It and all the other symbols seem to kind of, you know, I would say originate or being expanding from the reef itself. Interestingly enough, is in the center of the reef there's nothing. His skin was not damaged or torn. And, you know, the reef is taking up the better portion of his lower back, and then it's expanding. Since you do have him naked, you do see that the symbols travel, like, you know, around and wrap on his rib cage. They travel down his buttocks and the back of his little hamstrings and thighs, on his quads, and basically, like, you know, he's essentially got half sleeves on his arms, half sleeves on his legs, and his entire back is just etched. Definitely, you're smart enough. Definitely would have been an extremely painful process if, yeah, definitely an extremely painful process. With the 20 Arcana check, no, none of you have actually checked anything for magic yet. He's just kind of doodling, and it was just an Arcana check to kind of see if anything stands out. The prevalence of the 7 hook symbol is, again, it's the most dominant one there. And how it's drawn on his skin is a little bit more sharp of edge. It looks a little bit more, I'll kind of see if I can freehand it appropriately. If I can't, then I'll just do my best. It does seem to be more of a... It's so hard to draw. I can't draw it properly free-handed. With this Arcana deck, I'll just... It reminds you more of a... like, the symbol of like a harvester's scythe and a fish hook at the end.
Yeah. Okay. These symbols, would I recognize them as just as like symbols, more like Arcana like, or would I recognize it as potentially a language that I could?
With the 20 Arcana, they are symbols representing, you know, concepts and ideas. Kind of like crude example, but let's just go with it. Like in the modern world, when you see a like a 3-pointed little star-looking thing, you know that's a Mercedes. When you see an H, you know it's a Honda. Kind of like that. Each of these symbols seem to reference a thought, an idea, an aspect. That you did pick up that almost all of them have a flair of the infernal to them. Likely to, and I'm not going to make you have to rack your brain over it, likely to, well, the ties with the hags, as you've seen with their notes, where they had druidic symbols with a flair to the infernal. These seem to be more on the terms of like giant or dwarven script. with the flare of the infernal. So,
Okay. Guys, we need to kidnap one of the sisters and let them explain it all, because
Say no more. Kidnap. You got me.
Ragnar will kind of crack his knuckles and say, but there, as far as we know, we don't have much to put on the sisters. They're can't just be going around and disrupting innocent people.
no, I know. We need to find the hang.
Will an innocent person have burned all those or done all those marks in your friend's body?
Hey, Isos, how common is it for people around these parts to ascribe these kind of markings to themselves? Is that common?
You just no, not at all. Like tattoos, ink, sure. This is not like this, not common, and I don't recognize these symbols on him. I've seen maybe like a few of them in town on some of the buildings, but we don't really kind of.
Do you remember what buildings they were on?
See, there was tavern off of the Misty Bridge district by the butcher. There was the gathering hall, or not gathering hall, what would you call it? He's trying to think of the word. Little gathering square. The fencing there seemed to have some of these symbols. Seen them in the Mother of Bounties shrines.
Okay. We found some of the squiggly 7 fish hooky ones on. I think it was also a tavern, and then whatever the outdoor kind of kitchen gathering, like cooking area. We're thinking they use them to spy on people with that kind of like they weren't sisters, but like the acolytes or whatever, kind of like sketching around town, marking them in dark alleys. So we know nothing good happens in a dark alley. So my theory is that they use them for something spooky, probably spying on the people or making them docile. But I'm no expert on spooky magic, so.
Okay. Isos will say, well, I'm not great with magic. What I know of magic is, what some of the tools and implements I have that allow me to kind of disguise myself.
Isis, I was hoping we could do this in private, but I really need the information. We're looking for what species was Weeks? Mermaid, merperson?
A Triton.
Fish Croyd. I mean, you knew him. I mean, he was a prominent member of the Adventurers Guild. We're looking for wigs. That's where I left you my feather that you clearly found. So he is an expert in spooky magic shit. Where is he? What happened to him after or during the invasion?
Well, truthfully, we only know so much because when that, you said, invasion happened, it turned out quite a number of us underground kin seemed to be expecting it and were loyal to Harley and loyal to, well, those that invaded. So As for us that were not part of the plan, it was really a surprise and shock. As far as your friend Wiggs, we haven't seen of him since the League was destroyed. I've only heard rumors that he did not make it. But no one's.
Unfortunate, but thank you. Thank you for telling us that. At least me. Hoping it's not true, but we can be a little bit more sure not to spend all of our time looking fruitlessly for him.
Sage is gonna casually say under his breath, "It was an inside job."
That's what it's looking like. At least, it would make sense. The bounty worshippers and the giants got along, but then there had to be something else to get all these parts put together. I think there's multiple parties at play. I really don't know. Like, I still don't understand who or what did that to my friend, and if he's ever gonna be okay. You don't suspect he did that to himself, right?
I mean, you said it yourself. How likely is it that he would mark himself like this?
Yeah.
Not very likely, I would imagine.
No.
I highly doubt it. You can be devoted to something, devoted to a cause, a deity, whatever, but he was talking like a zealot, and that didn't happen overnight.
But that's the thing.
Mhm.
Harley was a man of, and he'll kind of do the air quotes, man of business, of trade and deals. Never struck me in my years of working with him as one that believed in anything. I mean, obviously he understood the Pantheon was above us. I mean, he went missing, and when he came back, he was different. Getting my cat real quick. Be right back.
Spooky magic ship.
Oh, show.
Classic.
Okay, I am back, and so is Jones.
Praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm. No, you missed it. Today's his adoption day. Nico. So.
The day of reckoning.
Yes. The day of he can do bad things and get away with it.
But he would never.
Oh.
Glorious day.
Because he does bad things every single day and gets away with them every single day.
Yeah, he could get away with murder today. So let's see, is the stream still going? Hey, it is, cool. Alright, so yeah. Getting back, I guess, focused in the game. Yeah. Isos is, concerned about his friend, who is, it's only been, 10 or so minutes of dialogue, but Harley is just out cold from rage-induced shock.
Isos, I have a question. It's a weird question, but what have you and your people been eating lately?
I mean, food is plentiful, right?
Just the regular, whatever the town has.
Yeah, I mean, why?
I don't know. I mean, mother bounties, there's more food than there should be. I don't know. There could be.
No one questioning where this food is coming from. Yeah.
Well, it could be part of the influence that gets people to turn to the sisters more so than just, hey, the food's here and you like them because it's food, but maybe it's tainted, maybe it corrupts you. I don't. There's potential.
Well, yeah, I would.
Holding on just fine, and you're not swayed, then maybe I'll.
Well,
I think you're onto something.
Isos will pipe up. Well, I mean, the food is just coming from the rivers and everything that's growing. And yes, it has, over 5 or so years or more, it's definitely increased every season. And I think that was initially what was driving people to start believing in this mother of bounties. 'Cause she's a small little deity. Demigod, maybe? I don't know. Like, she's nothing outside of this region. People haven't
But
even
the
never heard
people
of her.
here sure do love this mother right now.
Yeah.
In a very unnatural way.
No, you're right. So, should we be concerned that we've been eating the food?
I don't have anything on that to go on for sure. It's
Something
just,
to take into
the
account here.
bounties are unnatural, and a lot of the symbols have, I mean, fishhook related things, and you get your food from the rivers. It's a stretch, but it's something I'll look into, and if I find any reason for concern, I'll make sure you guys know about it.
Thank you. So, if you don't mind my asking, and he shifts his attention and focus to you, Al. 'Cause I would assume, Al, you just kind of slinked kind of back and sat down. Is that what you did at the end of the last session? I don't remember.
That's what I did last session. I'd say
Mhm.
when Davis and Dregnar were kind of watching, I'd probably stand close to them, but overall stay quiet and kind of keep an eye on everything.
Okay.
Hit you in every 2 minutes.
So, Isos, right, is not the most bulky, muscular individual. He seems more on the, built for speed, nimble. However,
For a Dragonborn or overall?
Dragonborn especially, but overall still, like he seems more
Okay.
Lightfoot than anything. However, his draconic features certainly still do make him intimidating, coupled with the scars, and well, he's got burning red eyes. And while they were soft in conversation now, when he turns his focus to you, Al, there's a very much of a flare of, what did you do to him? Why was he so mad? And he kind of takes a step forward a little bit, like not completely, but just looking at you, and he's not breaking eye contact.
I'm gonna go on.
You go ahead.
I'm gonna keep eye contact and raise my hands. Like I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I just asked him a few questions. I'm not entirely sure what that was all about. I mean,
Perhaps it's not
I did
him that's
feel
mad. Maybe it's somebody else that's guiding him.
it's a possibility. I felt like, as I said with the zealot comment, I felt like he wasn't telling the whole truth. He seemed too happy to, I wasn't believing it.
Yeah, but you asked basic questions. These are things that.
That's what I don't see how set him off, for lack of a better word. I don't.
All right, Al, if you would, you can give me a deception check.
It's a long day when I'm out of luckies.
Yes.
Can I insight check Al on that one?
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, come on. Shit.
I was in the room, but I was very distracted. I rolled a 3. I don't know what it adds to, but
Oh wow, Al. Oh no, your strong suit.
Yes.
I actually
Oh,
have to
so
look at a
lowest I can
sheet. I actually have to look at a sheet and see if it.
No, there's a chance.
Ooh, okay. Let's have a roll off. We tied. Actually, he tied you, so you
So
can.
do I reroll?
Yeah, I'll let you reroll because I want to see.
Roll off.
Jesus. Okay. Oh Jesus! What the hell? We tied again. All right, one more. If it's a tie, I'll just figure out how to deal with it.
Roll off.
All right.
Okay.
Right. You can't roll terribly all the time. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah. Now you're much better. Okay, that was crazy. His modifier is a lot less than yours, but he rolled higher, so it was like a tie, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't want to deal with a tie. Okay.
He's like on a hair edge, just barely grasping the truth.
And then it loses. Yeah, so you see him. He's like,
Yeah.
he's staring at you, and his eyes kind of flare for a little bit. intimidating, especially, with his, like, scar and his darker scales underneath. And he's like, still think you did something. Maybe it was the combination of what your friend did as well to mess with his emotions. But I
There were a lot of things at play, but all I contributed were the questions. I'm still trying to.
I
Serge is just gonna smile.
maybe there's I'm not the best with magic. He kind of shifts his focus out, and he can kind of have like a moment to breathe. uh, and he'll kind of say, "Rock, is there anything? I hate to ask, but is there anything magic about Harley? Did they? Don't chew on that. Lord of Chaos, Lord of Chaos." Here you go, boy.
I put detect magic on, so yeah, I'll cast a detect magic and have a look.
Okay. He nods, and then, so, of the things in the room, obviously, like always, I gotta remind you, your friends are glowing because of the equipment they have on him. Isos' little hair tie that's kind of keeping some of his, like, scaled braids. That thing's glowing with magic. The little chime that's on the stack of Harley's things, that's glowing with magic. Um, the markings themselves, they are they themselves are not magical, but you're picking up that they were put on him, maybe how they manifested on him, that is a result of magic.
Okay, I'll mention that to them, except for the chime. I'm gonna go to the chime.
Okay.
I was curious. Anyways, I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna take this for a moment. I'd like to look at it. This could be something. And then I'm gonna work and identify on it.
The ritual version?
Yeah. No
Okay. Alright, says, okay, so, thank you for looking into that. Listen, I don't know what you all expect to do now. I don't know when Harley is going to wake, because I've actually never seen someone pass out the way he just did. You are welcome to our facility. Not much, but, he just kind of looks at Marb and smiles. Just don't poke around too much and we won't have any problems.
No promises.
Yeah, I know.
Let me be very clear with you, Isos. We know that hags are behind everything. We've killed one here. We've killed one in the swamps. We stopped their time in the swamps. As far as we know, they wanted to bring back some ancient evil, and this bounty and the sisters and all of that is all part of a big plan to take over this area and probably much, much more, and have everybody in servitude. We lost friends here when we went to deal with the stuff in the swamp. The town lost innocent people. So what's our goal? Our goal is to find all the hags, and we're going to kill all of them, stop the sisters, whatever that takes, and free the town and have vengeance for our friends. Because until all of that's done, I won't be leaving here, and I don't think the rest of it will either. That's our goal. That's our plan. How it all no, but the sisters and their cause is evil. The people who have joined up, I don't blame them. There's magic at work. We know there's magic at work. But that's it. That's everything.
Al was nodding through the entire speech, like, yep, 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 yep.
Uh, Davis will let out a grunt in agreement, and Ragnar will say, "There's the hags are definitely not innocent, and they need to be taken out before they ruin anyone else's lives."
One thing you should be aware of that maybe we didn't mention, and we're not doing a very good job of ourselves, is we know they can use flies and rats and God knows what other vermin to spy on things. And we know they have access to another plane of existence where they can, some of them can jump in and out. So nowhere is safe. They're watching and listening everywhere. I think we've just weakened them to some point where they can't act on everything right away. But just be aware of that. Take care of your people. We'll take care of ours.
Well, just know my people will be watching y'all from the shadows. So you're not always going to be alone.
I'd rather you than the hags.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
here's
Believe me, you'll take that.
here's I'm like I said, I'm not versed in magic. I mean, you mentioned the food. If we gather some, is there something you can do to see if the food is causing this, or the symbols are causing this, or what can we possibly do to help other than go
I
ahead.
don't know because I've looked for magic throughout the town. I've never really seen anything off food. It was just a weird thought that came to me. I mean, it may just be that the bounty is provided and it's enough to like sway people that life is good now. That may be all it is.
I feel like you might be honest, Mark.
The more help we can get is any information we can get on the sisters, and numbers of opposition that we face, and if there's places we can go to cause them hurt and then get out, and kind of like hit and run tactics here and there, and just make chaos for them and keep them bleeding and off steady. That would be helpful.
Uh, well,
And we need to know who to trust. Clearly, we got into a situation tonight we weren't expecting because we just don't know who we can trust.
well, from what I gathered, you trusted me and just, uh, I was not able to inform you that, well, I wasn't charading as Harley anymore.
Do you find yourself as a trustworthy guy?
Do you think someone that makes a living by stealing and working in the underbelly isn't trustworthy?
Well, what if I were to tell you that you are the first person who I could come to trust in this town, other than my new friends here? For the past 2 days. So I think your town is a bit, in danger.
No, I understand the town is in danger. It's frustrating not being able to talk our way out of it, deal our way out of it. Our normal means don't seem to do much. We've lost a lot of access to any of our underground. They've been taken over by those that Harley had convinced to work for the, he's been Zyra's puppet before, and seems like the crew that she brought in and all those people that worked for him turn their backs on the rest of us here. Thought I knew
So-
How
Harley.
many
Hmm.
how many fighters do you have in town? Like,
Fighter?
we know we have support elsewhere we could bring in. We have us. We have other groups we know of. How many can you muster that can actually hold their own versus the sisters and the ogres and the militants?
I mean, it normally takes a couple of men to take down an ogre, right?
Absolute.
So amongst those that I have at my disposal, most of them are more about, well, they're spies and fast talkers, and they're able to get deals done. There's only a handful or so that, maybe a little bit more, but say about a couple handfuls of those that are actually
That's okay. Be our eyes and areas in town, because I think we're starting to become recognizable.
well,
Just have men anywhere you can, spread out, learning what they can. Now that you know what we're up against, and be easy for us to reach, so that we can, if we find something of use, get it to us right away.
boys, you've certainly made a lot of it. If you were the ones,
Also,
go ahead.
sorry, tell all your people to scratch those symbols that you see, just in case we need to disrupt them as much as we can in the most subtle ways possible. So,
But if we disrupt them, they'll know that we're on to them. No.
exactly. So they'll become more desperate, more forward. They'll stop pretending to be nice and everything's fine and dandy. And when they make a mistake, that's when we strike.
We need them to expose themselves, because we
Have you never toppled a government before? Oh, I'll teach you. Iso's my man. I'll teach you all my secrets.
As he's saying, we need them to expose themselves a little. I mean, we can't just fight a group of giants here and there, and we need. There's a lot of giants. We need the people behind the giants, so we can make the giant lead.
We can kill all the giants, but when the normal people start getting involved, that's when we need to make sure no innocents get injured.
He's saying if we, instead of pulling the weeds, we pull the roots.
Roots. Got it. Well, we're probably in for a longer night, just based off of the excitements of today. Rock, are you done sketching what you need
Oh,
from?
absolutely.
Okay.
You can rest your man.
Alright.
Sorry for what happened to him. Don't let him go.
Oh
I
no.
know it's easy, but keep him safe.
Unfortunately, even if I wanted to let him go, I couldn't, because I don't want him to know where we're at least managing to hide out.
Well, we're not letting Harley go. No.
Not now, at least.
I mean, we can find him a comfy bed where we can lay him down and restrain him to the bedpost, maybe in a more comfortable position. But me and my hammer still have plenty of questions for him.
Don't underestimate him. I would suggest don't leave him in one place for very long. We don't know the markings on him, if they're traceable, if they're going to even look for him. You know, if he's seen by a rat and then they're like, "Hey, it's from bars," we're going to move him from place to place. Keep him safe.
Alright.
Good point.
Places doesn't have to be the guys in hideouts. There's a lot of ruined places in town. Just call them up at a ruined house for a night. They're not really going in and out of those. So just whatever you got to do. Or if you can get them out of town, just get them far away from here. Do that. That might even be better for you guys. They won't go chasing him if he's far from you.
Can I have all of you guys make me perception checks, since all of you are proficient in it? And then I need one person to roll for Davis and one person to roll for Dregnar.
I can do Davis.
Okay. Davis is a +4. Marb, you can. Oh, yeah, you did your bonus. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You're good. And then can someone roll for Dregnar, please? It's +5. Okay. Wow. Okay. Only Al. Only Al. You pick up on. You see, as you guys are discussing, and the conversation kind of shifts to Harley for a moment. You kind of look over, and but for a brief moment, you almost see like the mirage of the reef of eyes. They seem to blink, like the chain just kind of blink, 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 blink. It's very quick, and you kind of shake your head and
Rub my eyes. What? I still have a. I'm gonna cast a level 1 detect magic and see if there's anything on it, residual even.
okay.
Identify on the charm go off?
Yeah, I'll let you with the charm here in a minute. So as you're kind of casting that identify, you saw Rock, or sorry, not identify, you detected that magic. You saw Rock kind of do that earlier at the behest of Isos, and Rock did get that sense of that these were caused by magic, but nothing more. Now, for a brief moment, you get a strong pull towards the eye. It is. I actually really got to think. It's. I guess it'd be like a weave of. The school is kind of difficult to pick up on. The nature of the magic, though, is very, very, very much resonates with infernal, twisting nature. Just screams hag. And as you're looking at it, you see that again one more time. That like the big center one will blink, and then a couple on the side ones will blink, and then they all kind of what you were seeing. They almost like focus in on you, and then they all blink at once, and then that mirage is gone again, and in that moment you've kind of lost the ability to detect magic.
Whoa. In a bit of a panic, I'm gonna go rock.
Yep.
Their eyes. They fucking know we're here. Damn it.
Shit. Pack up and go.
Wait, Al, yeah.
Isos, take Harley. Take your guy. No, wait. Harley. It was the eyes on Harley, right?
Here, give me his cloak real quick, and I wrap it around kind of like the eyes.
Okay.
I don't know how they work with spooky magic. If they work like real eyes, we're just gonna cover them.
Mm-hmm.
And Isos, like your men are out of here. You're this warehouse or wherever we are about to get destroyed. So where's the kind of the quietest passage out of here? Because we need to go like grab basically what you can carry on a person and let's go before
and
more ogres show up.
You guys can't have Harley. We'll deal with him. We'll keep him.
Yeah, definitely worth taking it. Well, it's up to me. We'll put him in the bag of holding, but there's no oxygen in there, so
We'll be fine.
So it wouldn't
We're
fit.
sorry. We can't promise anything for you, but take your men and go now. Just go. Somewhere else. Scattered.
You better listen to him.
Trust. All right. We will not tell you where we're going. We will find you.
As I expect him, and I extend like my hand to shake his, and it's like, Isos, I can't say it was a pleasure, but I know these are tough times, and it's always good to see a familiar face out. But
He'll give you
I
a
expected more of you, so I'm sorry if I was a little short. I know Harley was your friend, but let's leave it at that.
he'll give you the like
Yeah,
he'll give you the reciprocant handshake and sorry CJ and then he'll I spent a feather, so thank you for obliging. Be safe. We'll find you.
Yeah. You and me now, and our line of work award is everything a person has. So I'll promise we kill Harley as safe as we can.
Okay.
But the second he becomes a liability, you know very well what's going to happen to him, and I'm not going to lie and tell you. I'm not going to slit his throat the second I can.
No.
All from far off is gonna throw a. We'll try our best. Don't worry.
As
We
he's
promise to try our best.
so as he's doing the little handshake to you, he'll kind of slide down to your hand, and he'll put that same coin back in your hand. Says, "Worked once. Let me know when you need me." And then you just see
You
him
know I will.
look at his friend,
Let's go.
look at y'all, look up, and then just kind of head out. And then you just hear him clapping and starting to just bark orders. You three over there, we need to make sure we get this, get the lights out, get this. We're leaving, no question. You know, you just hear him start giving orders in the background. Rock, at the end of that, yeah, you did get the detect magic off. This is the thing that created the sound that made it where you couldn't concentrate.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're keeping that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have. I thought I saved the item. I couldn't find it. I guess I don't know. Maybe I dreamt that I made it, or I messed up and I didn't actually save it. I'll make it eventually, but it's basically like a chime of disruption.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
well, I'll throw it in the bag of holding for now since we don't have item for it. We'll just be aware that we have.
Okay. No. Yeah. No. That one. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
The group aside, we're just leaving Harley. We'll quickly tie Harley back up. And I'm gonna pull everyone into a different room of our group.
Mhm.
Our Nisos people. Okay, guys. What do we do with Harley?
Project look at it.
If we can employ our friend over here, Sash and Davis, if they can help us carry him as smoothly as possible. I mean, we can put him in a sack of potatoes and disguise him in a wheelbarrow or something, but this is the first lead we've had into kind of what's happening into town. Seem kind of like the spooky. We know kind of they're tracking us, so let's find a clear in the middle of a forest and ask the less savory questions, see what we can find out, and if anything, we'll just leave him there and have someone back in the Green Hill, like OG camp, to go check on him every now and then.
Do you guys think Harley himself is important enough to the sisters to come reclaim them themselves?
I have a plan related to that. That's why I pulled everyone in this room. It's a thought, and maybe it's a bad thought. But what if we say openly around him, "Hey, sisters, hey hags, hey whoever, we have one of yours. We're willing to give him back. We will meet you somewhere of our choosing. Bring something useful for us. You can have your man back. And if you don't arrive at that spot when we're there, you won't get them back ever. Let's see if they value their people."
I have a lot.
But I think it's worth a shot.
I think it's too risky. Like, what if they do and they come with like 10 orcs and trolls and.
Well, that's why we have fast people, and we have Marb. You are an excellent scout, and we have ways to escape. I mean, me and Al have things we can do.
No. I have ways to escape. Al may have ways to escape. You
No, I mean-
are. I mean, I guess you were pretty speedy in that battle, but.
we have magic we can cast that slows them down enough that we should be able to get away, assuming we're not surrounded. It's a very risky plan, but the only other option that I see is we kill him, and I don't want to kill a prisoner because.
You can keep him tied in a tree and feed him once a day.
They know where he is. He's tied to a tree. They'll retrieve him in a day, and then we've given him back for nothing.
Yeah, but we can set traps around him, and then we know. Here's the thing, Rock. We don't know what the spooky eyes, how they work. They may be literally visual eyes that they need the person's eyes. They may be a magical thing perceiving. They can be hearing everything we're saying right now with the creepy eyes. Like, it doesn't matter if we covered them. We don't know what this mark is, so we find a clearing in the forest and we leave him tied there. We can leave traps. We can have a scout rotation. I promise I'll take first turn. I bet Dragnar will take second, though we're pretty speedy and can get away from there. You are pretty speedy. You can take another watch too, but leave him in the forest. If they come and rescue him, then we know no matter if we kidnap and ask for questions, we'll have at most we had like a couple of hours while Izos rescued us and we went down and tortured, maybe like 4 or 5 hours tops before they can come to us. So there's a lot more that we don't know on raw information before I'm willing to gamble the only bargaining chip that we have. And for all we know, they don't care and they'll come and shoot Harley in the face because they don't want us to get any secrets out of him. So
I mostly want to know if they can hear, which would be if we give them an option and we find out they can hear, awesome, or if they just see that's valuable information. How are we going to get out of town? Like, there's no easy way out of town for us to tie him into a forest.
No, but we have, like you said, magical ways of moving around. Pass without trace, Dragnar can. I think Dragnar also has pass without trace.
Mm-hmm.
We are pretty sneaky when we need to be.
Yeah, so we can alternate that, sneak our way out. Definitely not going back to Julian or Green Hill until we drop them in the forest. So we're gonna have to tough it out for a bit, but I think that's the best option. I mean, if we see patrols around the forest, we'll know immediately they can hear us. I mean, if you think they can hear us right now, there's not a real point of having this conversation in private, right? We should be like moving, getting out of here, in case that's exactly how it works.
Let's move. Whatever the group likes, so we'll do. I just want to make sure we know all our options. I do not support us.
I'll put my hand in Rock's shoulders, like, hey, you don't need to cash a feather. I promise I won't hurt him too much. Let's agree on like a 70% like unharmed to harmed ratio of body parts. Is that fair? 70% being harmed, right?
I'm gonna look at Marv when he says that. I'm gonna turn and look at Al. Just give Al a little bit of a kind of a questioning look and say,
hey, 70% is a lot. You're getting a lot from me, believe me.
He seemed to go through a lot tonight as I'm looking at Al. I don't think we want to push him anymore. And then I just leave it at that.
Oh yeah, not until he's woken up again.
Yeah.
So while he's knocked out, it's our best chance to sneak out in case this spooky magic that we don't know of relates to the actual senses of the target. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's knocked out, he's not seeing anything, and if Harley is not physically seeing anything, the spooky magic on him can't see anything either.
It makes sense, but I think the eyes were already functioning with him unconscious. So I'm not super hopeful about that.
Well, like Rock said, the only other option is kill him, and
do wear cloaks of brown. They're not naked in the streets, that's for sure.
But
I was gonna say, how do I put this? I really don't know what type of check this would be. Give me a second. Let's see. I guess I need to see Rock, you're a divination wizard, so you can roll for this. Al, do you have any divination spells. Oh, your natural one is, so you have a little bit. Can you two give me? I guess they'd be Arcana checks as you're having this conversation. And by all means, yeah, y'all are, Davis is helping kind of get the knocked out Harley into a means to be able to transport him more effectively. Dragnar is just kind of helping.
I'll grab Davis and Dragnar, yeah, and we'll like looking for like, come on guys, like can we look for like a potato sack or something that we can put him in and throw him over Davis' shoulder and no one think like, oh, that's definitely a human.
Yeah.
Like, come on, help me look, and I'll leave Harley with like rock and all.
So y'all are able to find a means to transport him using your imagination however you want. If you want to sack a potato over, Dragnar or Davis's shoulder or wheelbarrow, whatever. We'll say
definitely over Dragnar. We'll have Dragnar carry the giant sack of.
That's funny.
Absolutely.
Al, not sure. Rock, by the description, it could be. You're not sure, but you get the thought in your head that the reefs, the eyes, if Al described the way that they kind of like blinked and were trying to look around, they might actually be tied to if Harley is conscious or not, and maybe when he's out, they have his consciousness is not interfering with the magic, possibly. Because you've heard of, you know that certain magics, with a 15, you know that certain magics work more effectively if the individual is sedated or calm, or vice versa. Like if they are in a fight, you know that certain magic doesn't work as effectively. Maybe this is related?
Okay. Hey, Marb.
Yep.
Blind him. Don't stab his eyes out. Blindfold him. Gag him.
Say no more, boss. Say no more. I take out a spoon from my spoon pocket.
Gag him. Make sure his hands are secure, very tight. And make his feet secured tight. And if you can rouse him, just see if you can rouse him. Let's keep him awake. Just on a hush.
Awake. Okay. I'll do exactly like Rock says. I'll blind him. I tie him up and I put like special glue in the rope. I don't know, like as hard as I could with like my biggest like sailor knot. And I'm like, Davis, like this, and I like tie him up harder. And Davis like, no, like this, and like ties it harder. I was like, okay, and I tie him even harder. It's like, okay, we're good.
Okay. And what was that?
And then I don't know, we'll have him sniff something to wake him up.
Rock, are you sure about waking him up? I feel like he's gonna be pretty uncompliant once he's awake, with the whatever the hell he hates me.
I just kind of from what I know of magics, and you all know that I don't know anything about magics.
Okay, I'm glad I don't have to point that out. To be honest.
You're good at it for what you got.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know for sure, but the magic, what you saw, might work less if he's awake. It might, but I don't know. So I'd rather we take that chance than, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I like how you think.
To me, it feels counterintuitive. Damn it, Rock, you better be right about this.
It feels wrong, but why would you need Hey Guys watching us when he can just watch us before, right? Whereas now he's got protection, awake or asleep, with it.
He's already loyal. He told them anyway.
But maybe it's protection for him and for them, or maybe they're like, hey, one of ours was murdered in his sleep, but we knew who it was because we saw it happen. I don't know, but wake him up anyways, if you can. If you can, well, just keep him covered, fully covered.
So, as
he's like gagged, blindfolded, tied up, and in a potato sack. So,
Rock, are we the good guys? Are we the baddies?
Al, in the real world, there's not good guy or bad guys. There's just guys.
Dragnar will
Okay, guys
say,
on a mission.
and gals. And you'll see Dragnar kind of get up to where Harley, because you guys have him essentially tied up and then kind of like in a sack, getting ready for transport. And he'll grab the sack and kind of lift it up. Like, you know, if you're like grabbing someone by like the front of their shirt, like all aggressively, he'll grab the sack, kind of lifting the unconscious Harley, and then with his big old dwarven hand, slap him real hard across the face. It resonates.
I said
it
70%.
He's like, he'll shake him. He's like, all right, you awake? And you'll just see Harley kind of, and it's like,
Slap him again. I didn't hear that. I don't think he's awake. Slap him.
Dragnar will just look at you and be like, he's awake. He's tied up. Marb, you get off on this? Is this your...
Just a little bit. It makes it easier when they run later. You create that split between your victim and you, so you don't develop an attachment, and then you can kill them. It's Assassin 101, my bad. It's a lot of fun for me.
Harley, and he's holding him. I'm not the best with words. Just you be not the best with words right now too, okay? Be quiet, and we'll see no harm comes to you. I will see that no harm.
To 30% of your body. The other 70% of your body will probably definitely get any harm done on you. Just stating the facts here.
So, you just see, like, you know, he's blindfolded and gagged. He's just, you know, kind of nodding as best as he can. Excuse me. And Davis and Dragnar will basically just kind of... Dragnar has one end, Davis has the other end, and they're just kind of holding a giant sack of human potato. It's nighttime.
Guys, we gotta stay real incognito about this.
Where are you guys going to try to go?
Can you show us the map that had like Bullpine and Green Hill, just like...
Oh, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have the best. So, like, this is the Green Hill proper, right? Map.
Perfect. This is the map.
Okay, so...
So, let's say, like, somewhere along, like, the encampment was on the south of town?
Yeah, encampment's off the map in the south. These two mills are where you guys met Julian to get into town. Again, this is... representative.
We want to exit through the other side of town and do it on the opposite side of the river.
So you know from what you've been told that the boulder fields are somewhere around here. And that's still something that's like where they're keeping prisoners or disruptive individuals. So, like, essentially where you guys are right now, Marb, is, like, something, I don't know, like, here, where your token is now. Somewhere proper. Like, keep in mind, it's a representation. This is, you know, by all means not accurate.
But I hope, so I tell the party, like, let's use ESOs, warehouses, bounce, back and forth, like, use the sewers if we can just to get out of the city. On the north side, allegedly, and go to the forests that are on the east side of town. Just a little bit farther away from town or any of our other friends that have helped us so far.
I need to get Sesh.
Are we all good with that? Thumbs up?
Yeah, if you can find us a way out, I'm game. I'll help whatever I can, however I can.
Sweet. I don't know if Isos is still around gathering his people, but...
Yeah, they're going fairly quick. Like, it's impressive to see, you know, they know how to ditch quick. But
I'll just scream to him real quick. Esos, we need a north side exit. You got anything that can help us, or any back doors that could take us closer to there?
I'm gonna turn around and do an eastern bound towards Essos as well.
okay. He'll look at the bow, kind of grin, nod his head towards you, Sedge. Out of town, difficult. Somewhere to hide, and sure, we got you. I'll send.
Close to the north side? Sweet. We'll take that.
Okay, so he'll do a quick, I can't whistle with my fingers in my mouth. I can whistle, but can't do it the other way. But he'll do one of those, and he'll call out, and don't have a name for this person. He'll just call out Samson, and the individual will kind of run by, and you'll see a hooded halfling individual. He's like, Samson, take them north, past to the Misty Bridge, to our, take them to the Misty Bridge location. And he'll say, yes, boss. And then he'll look at you guys and say, you ready to travel?
Absolutely, let's go.
Okay, and Samson's got like a satchel and like a sack on him, and otherwise he's just kind of in darker leathers and stuff. And he's like, all right, keep up. And he looks at Davis and Dregnar as they're carrying a man in a sack. And as you guys start walking by, you hear Harley, and Isos hears it and kind of looks. He just turns his gaze away and then gets back to distracting himself with escaping or leaving their hideout. So it is nighttime. It is dark. As you guys step out, by torchlight, getting through this little network of naturally running fingerlings that then do eventually get bricked in, and then you guys travel through the bricked portions, the stone and wood supported portions, leaving the excavated section, and you're back into the town proper, and you're able to just kind of navigate heading in a northerly direction. The way that Samson is moving, he's not going necessarily for just pure speed. He's going more on the quiet side and everything. So if everybody would like to, you can give me stealth checks. Davis and Ragnar would be at disadvantage because they are carrying something not very stealthy.
Okay, I got it. Davis.
Alright, and then whoever can roll disadvantage for...
how much is for Dragnar?
Ragnar is +6.
+6? Okay.
Davis bringing out his A game.
Oh, wow.
Dragnar got a 9 on stealth.
Alright, so we have an 18, 22... No, still, even with everyone added up. Okay. It's not as fast as you would like to travel. There is a moment once you start getting more towards the centralized portion of town that you slow down. You do see some of the boulders just kind of placed, some of the patrols. But as a group, you do manage to get, after about a bits of travel. It's going to take a good... Green Hill's not tiny. It probably takes about 2 hours in the night. It's muggy out. It's, you guys are getting sweaty. It's not comfortable travel. Sej at times, definitely, having difficulty traveling in such low light, bumps into some debris and boxes in the streets and almost gets your position away. But as a group, you're able to collect yourselves, and after a couple hours of travel, you are in the northern section of Green Hill known as Misty Bridge. And Samson will be like, all right, so let's bunker down here for the night. I know it's not much, but it feels like you guys look like you need a rest. Sure. And you guys are just essentially in what would be salting, an abandoned kind of like salt building where they would preserve and salt either meats or fishes or vegetables. Just that's what it's
Like
called,
a
a pottery.
curating building or something?
Yeah, it's actually
Ooh.
it's more of like a pottery, like where they would cure meats and then they would pot meats, like old school. I don't know how familiar y'all are, but you would, before there was canning, you would pot your meats and vegetables and stuff like that, which was a process of like cooking them, possibly preserving them with salts, but usually whatever you did, then you would case them in butter, clarified butter, and that would kind of help preserve them for a long time. So you're like in a potting and food preservation kind of building. There are some means of, it does look like it is still operational, but that is where you are able to hunker down for the evening. And if everyone's okay with that, it's 40 past the hour. We'll go ahead and take our first break. As you guys
Sweet.
are roughly
Just
like,
so we know
Yeah.
when we get back, or
Mhm.
we've rested, I want to talk about it. We can do that after.
okay, yeah, just be ready. Think of what conversations you want to have. So yeah, you have Harley tied
Don't
up.
forget to turn off the recording too.
Yeah, I will. So let me do that first. So I'm not stopping the stream. I'm just going to stop recording.